Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So we've got another master video for you today and it's a little bit of a different one. We are going to talk about Soldier a little bit, but we're also going to talk about playing ranked in solo queue. So today we are joined by the man, the meme himself, Stylosa.
Stylosa once told me something or other. Hello.
It's going to be difficult to get through a serious video talking about a pretty prominent hero right now without just making a couple of jokes. I want to start off with talking about your sort of previous accomplishments. What's your sort of highest rank, and whether you were involved in the World Cup at all?
Yes. Well, I was in the World Cup winning team.
Are you Korean? I didn't realise.
Yeah. Overwatch World Cup was an interesting thing. So we won't talk about that. But my previous sort of in-game Overwatch related highest ranks and stuff is I got into Master in Season 2, which was, I think I got to like 3.6 or something like that in Season 2. Maybe 3.7 actually. I don't even know. It seems like so long ago. I think in Season 1 I got to like 72 or something like that. In the old ranks, if anybody even remembers that ranking system.
Yeah, Christ. I think it's like 58. I didn't spend a lot of time playing it, that one, because it was coin flip and stuff.
Oh, that was the worst. That was, oh my god.
But we are, of course, going to talk about the solo queue and hero that you got to GM with in a second. But this video is predominantly about Soldier, a hero that you've been playing a lot more of recently. I know at the start of Season 3 you wanted to play Soldier a lot more for that season. Didn't really happen, but it's happening now on your alt account. So we're going to start with some major Soldier tips. And the first question that I kind of want to ask is, does aiming actually matter? I guess would be sort of...
Yeah. It's 90% hero, of the game with Soldier, yeah. Well, actually, that's not fair. Now, one of my video series, I get people to send their video clips in of their performances for review. And it's across all the level ranges. And the ones who are playing Soldier, they make absolutely terrible positional mistakes with Soldier. Like, they'll be in the fight, like down in the fight, like in amongst it, which is a really bad place to be. So I think, actually, when I say accuracy is like 90% of the game, I don't think it is. It's more... It's almost like 50-50 between positioning and accuracy. You've got to be in the right position, but you've got to be accurate enough to hit people. I guess I'll take you back a little bit to what I did with the whole idea of the Soldier alt account. Was this will probably make you laugh, but carried YouTuber, right? You've probably heard this. Like, all YouTubers get it. It's like, yeah, you carried. You're not doing anything. And I'm like, hang on a minute. I'm not being carried. I don't think I'm being carried. I used to be quite good at Counter-Strike. I must be able to play this game. So I got the alt account and just thought, I'm just going to play DPS on it. And the idea was to play McCree and Soldier. I've always liked Soldier. Like, since the closed beta, I played a lot of Soldier. I've always enjoyed playing him. I know he's like I guess you could say like a boring hero. Like, a lot of people don't see him as this amazing, like amazingly flashy hero or whatever. But he's always like worked for me and I've always enjoyed playing him. So I thought to myself, maybe I can just play in solo queue and just see how far I can get. Did I expect to get as high as I did? No, but as I started to rank up, I started to believe in myself more. But I made a few like very conscious decisions before I started doing it, and that was to become a better player, and it was to train my accuracy, because I've played Reinhardt for so long, right? You know what it's like playing Reinhardt.
You get a little bit rusty with everything else.
Yeah, but it gives you a very good idea of to what's going on. You know, you get very good sort of spatial awareness happening. And
your game sense is just next level.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. It's really good. And Lucio as well, for that matter. They're very good heroes to play. They're heroes that everybody should be able to play, and at least should play at some point during their Overwatch careers. But anyway, so I wanted to see how far I could get on DPS, because it had been so long. But I didn't just go straight into ranked. I didn't just be like, let's go for it. I instead spent a lot of time training my aim with things like the Ana bot drill, playing a lot of quick play, and just focusing on accuracy all the time. And then, and this is probably the critical thing, is I really worked on my positioning. I wanted to be in a good position all of the time. And being in a good position means you don't die as much, means you do more damage, means you're more effective. Because the worst thing you can do is die, right? So this urge of like wanting to run in first, be the first guy into the fight, you've got to get out of your mind with Soldier. You need to be more, you're the support. In a way, you're the support DPS, if that makes sense. You're at the back and you're working on people and you're working them down. You're not the guy who goes in and initiates, unless I guess you've got your ultimate available and you're going to run in with the nano visor or something. But I think positioning and accuracy are equally as important. And the only way to learn positioning is to watch pro gamers, watch esports tournaments, watch where Soldiers position, because they are the best players. You know, people like Harry Hook. If you watch how he plays the game and the positions he gets into, you can effectively intimidate them, imitate them, and it's amazing how better that makes you as a player. It's also like IDDQD is a good one for this, for McCree as well, and even Soldier, to be honest. Very good positional player, like always in a good position, never really exposed, but in a position to do damage. And yeah, I guess positioning and accuracy are pretty much equal in a way.
So we've pretty much covered a lot there,
yeah.
But I kind of want to go over some of his other abilities as well. His right click, or well, his rocket, depending on whether you play console or PC. His heal as well, and also his ultimate. Are there any sort of tips there that you would sort of say are pretty important to remember when you're trying to jump in ranked with Soldier?
Rocket jumps. A lot of people don't do this, and you can get into some really nice positions doing the old Helix rocket jump. You know Temple of Anubis, the final point? When you're on defense there, the small platform on the left-hand side, yeah, you might see Widowmaker standing up there or whatnot. You can get up there with Soldier with a Helix jump. Now, you can get up there without using the Helix jump by being creative in the way you jump, but you can get up there in literally a second by Helix jumping straight up from the blocks below, and that is such a great position, and there's loads of positions like that. There's tons of videos out there on YouTube which you can watch to show you, like, in detail how to get into nice little positions with Soldier. Hanamura is another one as well. First point on Hanamura, the house to the, if you're the attacking team, the left-hand side to the choke, there's the house, right, with a large health pack in. Getting on top of that with creative rocket jumps is such a great place to start. Every defensive Hanamura game, I'll be standing up there with Soldier. You're very hard to get. You know, D.Va has to jump you, and which I guess leads me on to the next thing, the biofield. D.Va, as we know, is quite strong right now. So if D.Va jumps onto you as Soldier, which is what she should be doing to mess you up, if you've got your Helix, your biofield available, and you drop that down, 90% of the time you can solo the D.Va and she has to back off, but it's making sure you've got the biofield up. A lot of Soldiers I've seen play, especially in the lower tiers, just use the biofield the moment they take damage, which is a bad thing to do. You need to think about what you can actually do with this thing, because it's quite a good heal. You can use it to supplement a heal in the front line, if, again, you're playing on Hanamura, and you're taking a lot of damage in the choke. Maybe I'd come down from the high defensive position and drop my biofield and then retreat back because it's going to heal the tanks. The Helix rocket itself. Now, I'm not too sure if this is the most efficient way to use it, but this is the kind of best way I've found to use it. When I'm firing at an enemy target, I'll prioritize trying to shoot them rather than fire the Helix rocket in. So you see a lot of soldiers will fire, Helix rocket, then fire. I've kind of found you can almost win, like, in that situation a bit more if you just focus on firing at them instead of trying to get this fancy Helix rocket in there. Tend to Helix rocket when I need to reload. That's kind of what I've been doing. But the Helix rocket is quite powerful. It's particularly good for dealing with Tracer. If she jumps onto you, you can fire that down into the ground. And that's, I guess, another basic tip with it is aim at the ground with it. Don't try and fire at people with it. Try and fire into the ground, especially if they're on top of you. You'll get more damage into them that way. The primary fire of Soldier, obviously it loses accuracy after a number of shots are fired through it, so you do need to get used to sort of pulsating your fire at longer range. But I would say don't be afraid of going full auto, because if you're firing into Reinhardt's barrier, you don't need to, have a pulsate the shots into that. Just go full auto into it. It doesn't matter. Honestly, the big thing with Soldier, he's extremely good at flanking. Now, I've been playing him at a Grandmaster level, which the players are quite good at that level. You end up with top 500 players quite often in your team, and you will not believe how effective it is simply flanking the enemy team. Volskaya comes to mind here. I don't like Volskaya. It's probably my least favourite map. But the very final point when you're attacking that, if you quickly flank to the left as your team engages to the point, you can come around the back onto the bridge at the back. You'll be able to put damage into one of the supports. Anna might be there. Their Soldier might be there at the back. Even if you don't kill them, it distracts them and it causes a lot of opportunity for your team to get in there and do damage. It's also quite nice to flank with the tac visor there. I guess onto the tac visor. Obviously, it's very powerful, right? But it can be shut down quite easily. If D.Va is in her mech, you kind of really don't want to be using your ultimate, because a good D.Va player will just fly straight up to you, defense matrix in your face, and then you look stupid, and then you die. And it's like, well, that's not great. So you need to try and get her out of the mech.
Especially whenever ults have been used like a nano boost on you as well, then it's a waste of 2 ults there as well. So
yeah, the way I've been playing Soldier is I've been trying to work with the Ana players to tell them only to nano me if I ask for it. Don't just nano me, because I've noticed other Soldier players will get nanoed and then you sort of emergency tac visor. I've done it myself. And then you get D.Va in your face and it's like, oh, we've just wasted 2 ultimates to a normal ability. This is not good. This is really not good. So try and work with your Ana player with the Tac Visor. You always really want to use it with Nano Boost because it's just so insanely powerful. It's almost like it's the new Beyblade, right? It just wipes out enemy teams.
Yeah.
If their Diva's out of mech and their Reinhardt barrier is down, it's go time. Like, there is not a better time you could do that. You absolutely go for it. Reinhardt's barrier is something you've just got to ignore a lot of the time. Like, you just run through it. If you've got Tac Visor going and you're Nano Boosted, you can just run straight past Reinhardt and blow the back line away. Which is what I tend to prioritize with it. You kill the supports, you win the fight, right? It's very simple, super simple. This is why flanking is really effective with Soldier as well, because you can get into positions they don't expect you to be in because it's fast movement. And then suddenly it's like, oh my god, it's Soldier, he's doing damage to us, and you've got sustain with your heal.
I do want to take it onto this point as well, though, because as we've sort of gone over, you have solo queued your way up to Grandmaster. A good chunk of the player base play solo queue, and they blame that in itself for why they're not progressing, maybe because of lack of communication and stuff. You seem to really sort of downplay it as well, that, oh yeah, I got to Grandmaster in solo queue. Was it really that straightforward, or did you just sort of work something out that maybe a lot of people haven't realised yet?
It's quite a good question. I think it is a mentality kind of thing. Like, when I was playing on Stylosa, I really didn't want to lose, and I think that would start causing issues after I lost a few games. It was like, oh my god, why am I losing? And I'd become not as effective as a player because of that. With my ult account, I didn't even care if I lost. It was like, oh, it's fine, I'll just go into another game. But it's got a 67% win rate on Soldier, so it's obviously winning a lot of games. It's like, right, that's pretty good. I'm doing something right. One thing I did is I would watch back my games as well. Now, obviously, YouTube or whatever, I'm recording all my games, but I'm watching them back and I'm thinking, what should I do right now? You know, if the enemy has got a Tracer, there is a very good Tracer, Dawn, I think is his name, like a top 500 EU, like he's very, very good. I seen him on the enemy team and I thought, this is going to be a problem, right? How am I going to beat this guy? The game starts, we're on Lijiang Tower, he kills me immediately, I'm like, oh, Jesus, here we go. But I'm going to stick with it, I'm going to try. The team is starting to go, come on, deal with the Tracer. And I'm thinking, shit, this is going to start causing like a lot of toxicity now, and I don't want that because that's going to lose the game. So I just sort of got extreme tunnel vision, and my only mission was to kill the Tracer. And it worked, and the Tracer started swapping into different heroes. And it kind of, that toxicity, that tilt that was building in our team got shifted onto the enemy team because you could see they were starting to hate on their Tracer for not doing anything and trying to get it to swap. So communication is a massive thing in Overwatch. It is really, really massive. But I think a lot of players suffer from over-communication. There's too much information, and you don't really need to know everything. If you're playing the game and you play the game a lot and you know what you're doing with the heroes that you'll play with, you know when to call things, right? So I'll use Reinhardt as the example. If you've got Earth Shatter available, you've probably got a good idea that the enemy Reinhardt's got his Earth Shatter available. So you warn your team, guys, he's got Earth Shatter, right?
Yeah.
You might say, guys, burn the barrier so you can Earth Shatter him because you want to initiate onto him and win the fight. That's kind of all you need to really say. You know, you don't need to give way too much information and start having discussions with people. And I see that happen a lot. And I think the more you talk, the less brain power you've got to actually play the game, if that makes sense. So I've kind of been more of a, I've taken more of a backseat role with the DPS Soldier account, instead of actually trying to like lead a team or trying to make call-outs or when to engage or saying, okay guys, next fight we're going to use Graviton Genji combo or whatever. I just sort of let things happen. Like, I let other people do that because I'm DPS, right? I need to focus on doing my job, which is to put the crosshairs on the enemy and make sure they die. So yeah, I don't know, it's weird. Like, it is weird. Like, saying it was easy to get to Grandmaster is not fair because it's not. I guess I need to go a bit further back in time actually to explain this. When I played Counter-Strike, do you know what HL stats is?
I don't, but I imagine other people will.
Yeah, this was before like CSGO and stat tracking and all of that. Servers had their own stats systems, and the server I kept playing on had like 90,000 users registered in the database, and I was ranked 3. So I must have been good at accuracy, right? It was Counter-Strike. And I think that's helped me. Like, it's not like I've just turned up, right, and I'm a platinum player and I've suddenly got to Grandmaster. I've got to make that quite clear. It's like I can aim, and I've trained myself to aim as well. I always group on Stylosa because that's how I like to play Overwatch, right? I want to play it with my friends. I don't want to just go in on my own when I've got loads of friends I can play with, so I'll play with them. But the Steak Bake account, which is the best name, by the way, I was like, I'm just gonna solo queue and just see what happens. And it turns out that solo queue is just as bad and as good as the duo queue and the triple queue that I generally played with on Stylosa. I try to be like a peacekeeper, not really a peacemaker, but try to keep the peace. The amount of games I see that are lost on Hero Select before the game has even begun is insane. You know, why are you playing Hanzo? Why are you playing Widow? We don't need those. And I'm like, guys, it might be okay. You know, don't worry about it. It's probably fine. And Hanzo gets 2 picks straight away and you take the first point immediately. Yeah. It's like, yeah, that if it's a Grandmaster Hanzo...
There's an educated decision there, right?
Right? Yeah. I don't think I'm not negative when I play generally, but what I would notice when I'd watch recordings back is because I'm always recording my microphone, there'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, I'd say things like that, and it'd generally be like this, oh, for fuck's sake. So it's kind of away from the mic because I'm leaning back in my chair, like thinking, oh my God, what has happened? I'm not transmitting that to the team. I'm saying it under my breath, but it's like a compound effect, right? Over time, through games, you get more and more tilted, and you get more and more intense, and then you become part of the problem yourself. So you start to become negative towards your teammates, which is not great.
Sure.
I mean, I played a lot of football when I was younger, and a big part of that was like the psychology of it, the mentality of it. You want to win, so you need to win as a team. You've got to be positive, and if somebody makes a mistake, you don't go, oh, Zarya, you're so bad. 3 fights ago, your Graviton was the worst thing ever. Get off, Zarya.
Yeah, you don't have a go at the left back or whatever. You're trying to sort of pick up his morale if he's struggling.
He gives a penno away, and it's like, oh, you don't go over and just say, oh, you're shit, you're so bad. Get the fuck off the team. You don't do that, right? You're like, no, you're like, it's all right. We can come back. And there have been games that I've won which have been absolute defeats because the team have just got crazy, and then you start getting crazy picks, like maybe you're on a King of the Hill map and you start getting Symmetra Torbjorn and, you know, on the same team, and crazy things like that start happening because people are starting to tilt. But if you stay positive, like 1 in 10 of those games, you will come back and win. Now, it's only 1 in 10, so you probably think, well, it's not really worth the effort, right? It kind of isn't in a way, but how will this mentality ever change unless you don't try to be positive yourself?
Yeah, I think you're fine, yeah. In about a sentence or a paragraph, what one tip, overbearing, not necessarily to do with Soldier or solo queue, whatever, would be your sort of main tip just to finish on?
Understanding is a big thing. If you want to get better at Overwatch, you have to become like a student of the game. You can't just blindly play the game and expect to get anywhere, because it's a game that requires a lot of tactics, a lot of intelligence, really. And the pro gamers that I've met and I've spoken to, and I mean, even if you look at like Envy today as we're recording this video in the Apex tournament, when you watch them play together, that is because they've played together for a very long time and they know how each other sort of they fit together. So if you've got friends that you can play the game with, that can be a huge bonus, because you can get to know how you play with each other, and you can sort of, you know, pick complementing heroes to play with and sort of work together. And I don't know, but you don't have to work together in a team. It's just more to do with increasing your understanding of this game will make you a much better player, even if you don't have crazy accuracy or anything like that. Understanding is huge. I can't put enough of an emphasis on it. Just being a student of the game will make you a better player. You'll just be better at the game. So you should watch my YouTube channel.
Speaking of which, where can people find your YouTube and your Twitch and stuff like that? This is your chance to plug whilst we've kind of gone on to that area.
Okay, so you can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/UnitLostTube. On Twitch, it's /UnitLost. On Twitter, it's @UnitLostGaming, and that's about it.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. You can find the rest of the master videos that we've done in a playlist in the description and on screen now. And do let us know if there are any heroes that you would like us to check out, and who would you like us to talk to about it. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.